Collector is an instance in Pandemonium. Here you can see two mini incarnators, and each one acts as a portal into a different raid. The right one here is the one we'll be taking, which leads to Collector. We're running a team composition which consists of an adventurer, two bureaucrats, a nanotechnician, a soldier, and a doctor. For this specific instance, an adventurer is required, and I'm going to let Tico, who's playing his adventurer Troxymorph, explain why.
Alright, Adby is essential to the Collector raid because of the tree morph. At the final boss, Collector will kick you around, and the only way to counteract that is to be an adventurer in tree morph. No other profession or any combination profession breed, doesn't matter, has any way to deal with that except for an adventure.
Perfect. I think that was clear enough. Let's go inside.
Trying to be a Jew.
Alright, so here we are inside the Collector instance. The instance is split up into 3 different bosses. We're going to explain how each boss is done and also how to navigate your way to the final boss. The first boss is the Collected Essence. The idea is to kill one of these little fragmented essences that are scattered around down there, which will trigger the Collected Essence to shrink in size. This allows you to push damage into him when you otherwise couldn't. After a short amount of time, you'll notice him regain in size, which will cue you to kill another fragmented essence. You'll need to follow that pattern several times until the boss is dead. Let's go ahead and pull. So right now, I'm just grabbing aggro here on the boss. Here, we just killed one of the fragmented essences, and you saw him shrink in size.
You want to be very careful doing this boss also if your doctor gets ag or anything like that, because this boss has a nitty buff that can be really nasty to a doctor.
There we go, now I finally grab ag. Here we kill another essence. Now that he's dead, he shrinks again. And during this time, you just want to push as much damage as possible to prevent this from being as drawn out as it possibly could be.
Yeah, you want to try to save your perks for the collected essence rather than the essence fragments.
Actually, our doctor heal for days. Could you explain why exactly you would battle group heal here, just for anyone who's curious?
Oh, I have to battle group heal because the boss does a nuke, so it hurts the pets, and I can't BI or team heal. And battle group heals heal everything in the area, so the pets won't die, and the crats don't have to recast pets, etc.
Right. Here we go. This should be the final phase here.
Basically, this instance isn't really a challenge to heal, so wasting your battle group heals right at the beginning isn't really a problem, and it saves time in the long run and makes it more efficient.
And right now we've just killed the first boss, and we are heading over toward the second boss, Sister Botanicus. We're just training all these mobs here, and we stop before we get to the boss, and we have a Krat calm them all.
Just for everybody who does not know, regular comms do not work on the essence fragments, so you have to element them.
And you want to move quickly because obviously you won't be able to element them for another 10 minutes.
Right, so here's the second boss. As you can see, the cocoons surrounding her here. Basically, these cocoons will heal the boss if you leave them up. So you want to have a designated player. That'll be our Behemoth Krat here, killing every single one as we go. Behemoth Krat, could you explain why it's most efficient to have you killing them all?
Well, realistically, pet class is the only one who can kill coons while inside of a coon. So it's really essential to have a pet class in here, even an engineer, but of course, a Krat to debuff, because you're gonna need to destroy the coons, and everybody can get coon at one time.
Right, you'll notice as we're doing the fight, we'll be trapped in coons as we go, and he can send his pets around to clear out the outside ones, which will heal her up, which is essential.
And just so doctors know, doctors cannot UBT any of these bosses.
And also,
go ahead.
And also for reference here, we're going to do this the easiest way. I'm going to go ahead and LM in Sister Botanicus, and we're going to kill all of the coons on the outside, which heal her first, and then we're going to go in on her to attack her. That we have found was the most convenient way to go ahead and start about this boss.
Alright, well let's go ahead and LM in. Here's the cocoons that we were talking about. See how everyone is trapped?
And doctors, stay close to your Krat because you need to get out of coons first.
And as you can see, this happens extremely frequently. And all the outside are dead. Here I'm going to pull the boss. Continue at this general pace. You can see the Krat's pets going around and killing the outside orchids here.
Basically, everyone who's not a Krat or a doctor just needs to be pushing as much damage as they possibly can into this main boss, Sister Botanicus. Try to make this last as little as possible. One of the biggest things.
Go ahead.
One of the biggest things about Collector is just efficiency. It's a pretty easy instance, just getting it down and doing it right every single time to make farming it efficient for either your boxes or to sell boxes.
Also, along with the coons here, whenever you get coon after killing one of the Abyss Orchid Sprouts, you have about a 5-second window, and then the coon will actually brick itself. But of course, while you're fighting a boss, you don't want to be cooned for 5 seconds, regardless of anything.
Right, so if somebody were to die and come back in, and they got cooned right at the start, it would be okay. they wouldn't be stuck there indefinitely.
And the boss is dead. Now we're moving toward the final boss in the instance. This part's pretty fun for anybody who hasn't done it before. It can get old pretty fast after you've done tons and tons of collector runs, but basically this guy right here, the Immortal Guardian, he will kick you just like that. Got kicked the complete wrong direction. But basically, he wants to kick you over this wall here, and you have to get kicked over a wall 3 times. There's 3 of these guys.
This part can be really annoying for people with high evades and low evades in particular. High evades, people are going to have real problems having this Immortal Guardian kick them, whereas very low evade people will have issues taking hits from the Immortal Guardian and the Essence Fragments, because as you can see, they've made a return here.
And there we go. I was just kicked over all the walls.
Before he jumps in there, one thing you can see is right here is a portal to go back to Pandy, the beginning part of Pandy, in Cana. So be careful not to jump on that.
Right, right. And basically, to get into the area where the collector boss is, you need to talk to this lady here. Just let her know that we're ready.
Which you'll either have the option of yes we are, or I've been here before, let me back in.
Right, when the first person talks to her, it'll be yes we are, and then once the first person is in, it'll be let me back in for anybody else who is coming in afterward. So here we are in the collector room. As you can see up there, let me zoom in. Up there is the collector, standing on her platform.
It's not on our platform on my screen. That's weird. At this point, you have a choice. You can either go to the northeast corner or the northwest corner. I tend to prefer the northeast corner. No reason, just a personal preference. Theoretically, you can do any of the 4 corners, but these 2 are better because it's further away from the collector. So, you have can't accidentally pull him while you're standing here buffing and getting ready. And particularly this corner is very good for when you have the ads spawn.
So basically, the collector fight itself, there's a few key parts to it. Specifically, as you can see, the adventure here is tree form, like you mentioned at the beginning of the instance. This is so, you notice these spikes here. The collector will kick around, and he can't be kicked into these spikes, which is why this is like the perfect spot for him to tank it. During the fight with the collector, she'll spawn ads out here in the center. There's a job, most people call it the kicker, and the reason is because you kick mobs into these wells here. There's a red well and a blue well. Here, if you go to the control panel and you scroll down, you'll notice right here, there's a perk-like skill called Gravity Shift. You want to drag that onto a bar, or you can just click on it here, whichever way you prefer. And the colors of the mobs will be blue and red. You want to kick the red mobs into the blue well, and you want to kick the blue mobs into the red well. The red mobs, I believe, are
Heal.
the ones that heal the collector. Basically, if you leave them up for too long, they begin healing her a significant amount, and it's too much to do damage through, so you have to kick them in. The blue ones are actually what allow the collector to kick, so as soon as you kick all the blue ones in, the collector will stop kicking around. You'll notice as we fight, she kicks the pets and everything close to her, away from her. And then also during the fight, during later waves, there's going to be green ones and a black one, and I'll let Behemoth Krat explain what exactly he does with those.
You want me to explain that now?
Sure.
Well, basically, I think it's about the third pop. You're gonna get, what are they called again, guys?
Plague Shades
Plague
and Death
Shadows.
Shades.
Plague. Yeah, Plague Shadows. They're green, and what they do is they get near you, they put a dot on you. The more Plague Shadows that are around you, the more dot you have on you. Kill you pretty quickly. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use an aggression enhancer, which basically taunts the mob and pulls them towards me. I'm gonna pull them over to this corner. You wanna follow me right here? Shout to Jam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull them over here to this corner using my aggression enhancer, and I'm going to calm them using empowered contemplation. That'll keep them calm for about 7 minutes, and I'll have to come and recalm them throughout the collector, throughout the boss kill.
Perfect. You'll see exactly what he's talking about during the fight here. So basically what's going to happen at the start of the fight, I'm going to run up here since I'm a soldier, and I'm going to shoot the collector. I'm going to AMS immediately. Notice I have AMS up. I run over to our friendly neighborhood tree. Turn
This is
it
where it
around
gets a
so
little
he can
different
backstab.
depending if you're ranged or melee. Yeah, if your adventure is melee, you'll have to bring the collector over here and turn him away so the adby can backstab and get some head start on that ag. And then as the adby, you're gonna immediately start CHing yourself. You start CH tanking the same way that a doctor would CH tank Hex. But because an adby doesn't really have a chance to keep ag away from the likes of soldiers and crats and NTs, you'll have to CH tank most of the boss. After you get to if you're ranged and you get to a point where you're 11-second full auto and you're doing massive amounts of damage, you might be able to slow down on the CH tanking and be able to tank more with damage. But as for right now, CH tanking is the best way.
Yeah, right now you'll notice we are letting the adventurer build up his aggro like he was saying. We have our doctor shooting it to proc his initiative debuff procs. Normally we found that about 2 to 2.5 bars is a safe place to start hitting the collector with all of your DD.
Now, really quickly, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and explain as to why we have an NT here with us today. Unless you want to explain that, Drew, as you're playing the NT.
You can go for it.
Okay, Balls Ablazing is our NT who is here with us. And realistically, we like to have an NT here so then crats can debuff easier because NTs have constant barrage. It is a huge nano resist debuff. And for anyone who has done collector, who is going to do collector, the collector has a huge amount of NR, so it's really hard to debuff him as a crap. So having an NT here really helps out, and all in all, NTs aren't too bad at damage either.
Here we go at about 2.5 bars. And we're going to start doing damage.
Chico,
Yes.
would you like to explain to everybody how you're keeping aggro more efficiently than just attacking?
Oh, I'm still spamming CH. I will do that the whole time. And you also want to keep paying attention because as you're fighting, Collector will lose ag for split seconds. And when he does, if you're melee, you want to use that time to your advantage. And as soon as he starts running away, to be spamming your backstab. That nice quick 13k hit will make it a lot easier to get ag back quickly and retain it from there.
Alright, we got pops.
Yeah, so as you'll notice, as soon as I saw the collector kick back all those pets, I immediately turned around and knew that these ads had spawned because, as I said before, the blue ones are what allows her to kick. So I saw the kick, immediately knew they were there, turned around, and I used the skill that I showed you earlier, which is in your control panel, to kick them into the wells. And as soon as you do that, you can come back and begin to DD again.
This is where most of your problems in the instance are going to arise. You're going to have probably a hard time the first few times that you do this instance trying to balance a good amount of DD, but also not enough DD to take ag from the adventurer. Collector goes wild, he goes anywhere else except for the adventure, you're going to have serious problems. So that's one thing you want to keep from happening at all costs.
I think we got pops again, didn't we? Shut a jam.
Yep.
We did.
We got new pops. You'll see I pull here with an aggression enhancer. And make sure you line yourself up really well. Cast your kick, and then they go.
Advance, if you'd like to explain why you use an aggression enhancer instead of just full autoing every mob you see.
Right, so basically the aggression enhancer, it allows you to pull safely without pulling every single mob. Here there's only 2 mobs, it's not super dangerous, but the mobs actually do hit pretty hard. So when it gets to the point here, more mobs will be spawning, and if you go in and you just shoot at them, you're going to pull all the mobs and get yourself and potentially your team killed. It's just a much safer way to get the job done.
And more pops.
Our DD is really good right now, so we're getting pops pretty quickly. So you'll notice I target the red ones first, get both of them over here.
Of course, the idea behind that is you want to get rid of the people that heal the collector as fast as possible. Or
Right.
sorry, the shadows. Last thing you
Here.
want is him healing up.
The reason Soldier is great for this is because I can do exactly what I just did. I can just run into these 2 and AMS and then kick them into the well here. One thing you do need to be careful when you're kicking is to not bring them too close over here to your team, because if you do that, the doctor will immediately take aggro, and it'll be a mess trying to pull it off of him.
If you ever thought heal ag was bad at Hex, you ain't seen a thing until you're in collector room. Heal ag is real here. Basically, it's just going to continue to be the same thing until
Right.
finish up. There we go. There's a more interesting way
Here
for
we
you
got
guys to
pops
watch.
again. So here you can see we have green ones over there. Right now, Behemoth Grad is going to be going around to the side that he showed you earlier. He's going to be pulling them. You'll see them get pulled here in a second. There goes one. He'll be calming that one.
Now, as was said earlier, I pull them away from the team because, of course, you don't want the doctor to pull ag because the plague shades, like I said, have the huge dot, and they will kill your team off pretty quick.
And guys, keep in mind that even though that we feel this is the optimal team configuration, this is not necessarily the only way to do it. You definitely need an adv, definitely need a doctor, definitely need a crat, and that's pretty much it. Anything from there is just whatever you think will make it easier for you to do the instance. For today, we chose a crat, an NT, and a soldier. Soldier obviously for the reflex and for kicking duty. Another crat for damage, and the NT for the NR debuffs and the extra damage there. Some other possibilities for the kicker position could be enforcers, shades, MAs. They all three do very well.
Keepers also kick really well as well.
Keepers also, yes. Pretty much any evade profession or any profession with a amount of defenses, whether that be HP or heals, or evades, to deal with 2 or 3 mobs being on them at once, can do the kicking pretty well. Ideally, you just want it to be someone who can take the hits for a couple seconds while they run out of range of the doctor. Because while they can come in and ask for the heal for the doctor, you don't want them bringing any shadows with them. So
here in this scenario, we've kicked all of the shadows that we need to kick, and we're gonna get another pop here very soon. The red shadows will not start healing him right away, so what we tend to do, if you have the DD, is to push as hard as you can on your damage. See, there's the spawn, and we're going to push as hard as we can to try to kill this boss before they start healing.
And again, you don't have to do that. That's just the way that we do it to make it more efficient for us.
Right, it really requires a pretty good DD to make it happen. The safer way, obviously, is to just go and kick the wave, as you normally would. And there we go, the collector is dead. After we kill the collector, it's a good idea to go ahead and kick all of the shades so nothing crazy happens. And as far as loot, I'll show you that here in a second.
We'll provide a link to you in the description for all the confirmed loot from the collector. Basically, he drops a box, and he drops 6 boxes each time. So 1 person for each person, or 1 box for each person in the team. And he also drops armor, which is really just social armor. As you can see, I think most of us are wearing collector social, or well, Vance, Shot the Jam, Kyle, Behemoth Krat, and me, Tico, Troxymorph, are all wearing collector social. But it's just social. He can also drop most of the stuff that comes in the boxes and some other no drop things throughout the game. Like, for example, right now he has a Fist of the Dominator from Inner Sanctum, Frostbound Reaper from Inner Sanctum, a Job Explorer personal pistol, which is the 160 full auto pistol for an adventurer, a Nelob's Nano Circuit robe, and a Tree of Enlightenment. His loot also always includes 6 Pandemonium Doja chips. So you can only use them if you're 220. However, it is a good way to guarantee to get your Doja every single day.
Here you can see all the loot he was talking about. We got some Inner Sanctum loot. Here we got some of the social armor here. Neleb, Nano Circuit robe. Here we have these bronze boxes, bronze chests of the collector. And basically each chest will spawn some potentially rare items, and you can also potentially get a silver chest from a bronze chest. Silver chest can drop more rare items than the bronze chest would, and then you can get a gold chest from the silver chest, which can drop very, very rare items.
He says rare means things all the way up to 240 plus supples, IGOX, RBPs, things of that nature.
And of course, your ACDC.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and also ACDCs. I guess everybody can go ahead and loot their box now.
Grab my box, let's see what I get. And I got a bunch of crap.
We go ahead and have everybody post what they got out of the boxes just to show the variety.
Low recoil diamond on kick pistol, smart of the wanderer, some poetic pants. I got those. Awakened soul crystal.
Never understand why they give AdV so much multi-range and multi-melee stuff. Like we don't have enough already.
Double low recoil diamond kick pistol here. Smelly butcher gloves. Ooh, a silver chest.
Med got a silver chest.
cool.
Yes, very nice, Med. Did you open that one yet?
About to open it now.
And I'm on LFT with MA.
You might want to leave team on your integer.
Alright, cool, you kicked him.
Thank you very much, Tico.
Nice little drop ratio there.
Decent NCU
NID.
unit.
You got a enhanced
NID, yeah.
safeguard. NCU. You got shades of lucubration. Enhanced dust brigade notum gloves. And an NID, which drops from
Administrator Davalos. Yeah, basically that was our that's our presentation of Collector.
I hope it was pretty clear for everybody. Hope everyone understood everything we said. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.